Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you all are doing well. My name is Elliot. Welcome back to The Fragrance Well. So today's topic of discussion is going to be fragrances that I think are good for a formal summer event or party, primarily at night, or at least hopefully it's at night. You know, this could be something that's being held by a company that's at night but also outdoors in the summertime. Could be a wedding, reception, anything like that. Just outdoors at night, more formal type of event. So I got 8 fragrances here that I think can go well for any event like that. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so first up is coming from the house of Amouage. This is Reflection Man. Amouage Reflection Man. So, you know, this fragrance is pretty much a year-round scent in my opinion. That being said, in the high heat of summer, it's not the first thing I would go for in the daytime if I'm gonna be outdoors, but I think when the sun's going down and at night and it's not ridiculously humid, this one can work, and it certainly is classy enough to work for a formal occasion. It's quite floral, it's a little bit powdery, just a little bit powdery, and it is sweet and woody as well. Primary notes are bitter orange leaf, rosemary, neroli, jasmine, sandalwood, and cedarwood. It is a tried and true fan favorite from the house of Amouage. Just a classy, clean, fresh, floral, somewhat sweet fragrance. I mean, it's, you know, this one is definitely, it's kind of like, I call it a CEO's fragrance. Can certainly work for that formal type of occasion. And most importantly, it will do well when it is a little bit warmer out, even though it is at nighttime. So great for a summertime, evening, formal occasion. Once again, from the house of Amouage, this is Reflection Man. Okay, so the next one's coming from the house of Hermes. This is Terre d'Hermes, just the eau de toilette. Terre d'Hermes. So, you know, this fragrance is also very, very classy, gentlemanly scent. Let's kind of dry it off of that a little bit. Yep. You get that kind of bitter, dirty orange kind of vibe going on with it. It's a little bit smoky, has a prominent note of Flintstone, and of course there's vetiver as well. Primary notes are orange, grapefruit, cedar, vetiver, Flintstone pepper, benzoin, and patchouli. Many might place this one being more of a transition fragrance in terms of being outdoors, but to me, I think it can definitely work on a summer night, if you will, particularly for a formal occasion. You know, this one has a freshness to it. It has a brightness to it coming from that orange. So that citric vibe coming from the orange and the grapefruit lends to it being a bright enough fragrance that can work on a summer night. And there's no doubt that the fragrance is mature enough to work for a formal event. So once again, from the house of Hermes, this is Terre d'Hermes, the eau de toilette. All right, so we're on to the next one coming from the house of Nashane. This is Ani. Nashane Ani. Now this fragrance is quite sweet. That's kind of the primary characteristic for it. Also has some fresh spiciness to it, has some green-like accords to go along with it as well. This fragrance being sweet, you might think of it being more of a cooler weather fragrance. However, to me, I find that if you go lighter on the sprays in this one when it is warmer out, it works just as well. Primary notes are bergamot, green notes, ginger, cardamom, black currant, rose, vanilla, benzoin, and musk. To me, this is the perfect kind of fragrance for, say, like an evening wedding reception that's outdoors and it's summertime. Even though this fragrance is sweet, it doesn't come off as playful, so if it's a more formal event, I think it can work even in a little bit warmer weather. And particularly because the sun's down, this one definitely I don't think would be too much. If it's the middle of summer and the sun's up and it's blaring and it's humid, I think, yeah, this would probably not be the best choice, or at least it wouldn't for me. That being said, I think it's a great fragrance for the evening time, especially formal. So, once again, this is Ani from the house of Nashane. All right, moving on, coming from the house of Tom Ford, this is Beau de Jour. Tom Ford Beau de Jour. I gotta say, I have talked about this fragrance quite a bit on the channel, and frankly, that's partly because A, I love it, and B, the fragrance can work for just about anything, so why not use it for a formal nighttime summer event? Very much done in the style of a traditional aromatic fougere, but has some new school sensibilities to it. Primary notes are lavender, geranium, basil, oak moss, amber, and patchouli. In my opinion, a classy gentleman's scent will always work for any kind of formal event, whether it's wedding style, work style, some award ceremony, anything like that. And this one has enough of the aromatic cleanliness to it to give it a little bit of a freshness that it can still work in the summertime for an outdoor event. As with anything, always adjust your sprays as necessary. So once again, this is Tom Ford Beau de Jour. All right, and the next one, similar to Beau de Jour, also has kind of a classic fougere style, but with new school sensibilities from the house of Zaharoff. This is Second Soul. Zaharoff Second Soul. So this one is a lot more complex than Beau de Jour, but you've got a little bit of briskness and green-like accords, some sweetness, almost resinous accords with it as well. It's woody, very complex, but very well done scent. Got notes like cardamom, juniper, nutmeg, and rum, clary sage, geranium, jasmine, myrrh, tobacco, labdanum, patchouli, and suede. This one can also be thought of kind of more like a transition fragrance, in other words, spring and fall time. But once again, nighttime, summertime, it's not overly humid, and it's a formal occasion where you want to have an air of classiness to you. This one will get the job done. I definitely primarily think of this one kind of like being a work event or maybe a work award type ceremony that's being held outdoors. Classy fragrance for sure, great for formal occasions. So once again, from the house of Zaharoff, this is Second Soul. All right, and moving on, the next one's coming from the house of Orto Parisi. This is Bergamasque. Orto Parisi's Bergamasque. This fragrance is also one that is great for warm weather in general, but also can just really work anywhere. So why not for a formal evening outdoor occasion? It's very bright, very brisk, very fresh, heavy dose of musk. Also has some bergamot. I think there's some aldehydes in here. There's some woody notes, maybe a little bit of an amberiness as well. This one's clean, it's people pleasing. Just apply it to really any occasion. I think it'll work. I don't necessarily even think I have to specify what I would wear this for. This is good for the daytime. It's certainly good for the evening time when it is warm out. So once again, from the house of Orto Parisi, this is Bergamasque. All right, so the next one's coming from the house of Roja Parfums. This is Elysium Parfum. Roja Elysium Parfum. Now this one here is a great fragrance for the warmer weather, including the Parfum Cologne version, and I just today got my nose on the new Eau Intense. Very, very nice. I love that rhubarb in the opening. I think I'm definitely gonna have to add that one at some point. All that being said, this fragrance is already very much a very classy fragrance, so it's perfect for any formal occasion, and with it being a brighter, fresher fragrance, certainly will work for warmer temperatures, so it's great for a formal event at night. There's a laundry list of notes with any Roja fragrance, but you have citruses, you got some fruity accords, you've got very green accords, you've got aromatic accords, there's definitely lavender and thyme in this, you've got musk, there's woods, and there's some florals as well. A lot of stuff in this fragrance, very complex. Most of what they list, you're not gonna necessarily be able to pick out. All that being said, the fragrance is perfect for a formal occasion, especially in the warmer temperatures. This one is probably the better choice for nighttime as anyways, because this is definitely the densest DNA of the Elysium type DNA. Once again, from the house of Roja Parfums, this is Elysium Parfum. All right, guys, and last but not least, coming from the house of Novitus Parfums, this is Eau Debonair. Novitus Parfums, Eau Debonair. So this fragrance here, Debonair is in the name. It does come across that way. It's very classy, very bright, fresh, clean, uplifting fragrance, perfect for the warm weather. Primary notes in this include petitgrain, pink pepper, bergamot, lavender, jasmine, tuberose, orange blossom, ambroxan, benzoin, and musk. Now, while there is tuberose in this fragrance, and tuberose is a very heady kind of floral that can really take over a scent, and you often find them in more feminine fragrances. To me, tuberose is not a note I'm the biggest fan of, but if it's done well, I actually really do like it. This one, there's enough to counter that headiness of the tuberose to where I can definitely get down with this one. As I said, it is a clean type fragrance, has a little bit of a soapiness to it. It's very bright, very refreshing, and honestly has a nice little bit of a sweetness to it too, to give it that a little bit of a mass appeal. This fragrance here also can pretty much work with any occasion. Anyone will work. So Yeah, I would say get a sample of this. If you're not a fan of tuberose, definitely tread carefully if you're considering purchasing this one, because even though the tuberose is not necessarily the star of the fragrance, it's definitely there enough to notice it. All that being said, definitely works for a formal occasion, especially in the evening time. So once again, from the house of Novitus Parfums, this is Eau Debonair. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. That was 8 fragrances that I think are good for a formal summer event, particularly one that is outdoors and at night, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content. If you do subscribe, hit that bell button so you can be notified when I upload new content. Remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.